everyone. This is Sage Kashyap. Today I am going to explain you the chapter number 7 of your geography book, that is the water world. Yes, what is the water world is referred to? As you know, there are 4 rings of the earth: lithosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and one is hydrosphere. Okay, so let's see what are these now. Hydrosphere is completely known as the water world that covers oceans, lakes, rivers, etc. Okay, lithosphere, outer solid portion of the atmosphere. Yes, it is the solid portion of the earth crust. Atmosphere is known as a mixture of gases, and hydrosphere, which is I have already told you. So in this chapter we are going to learn about only about hydrosphere, only about water. That's why this chapter name is there, the water world. Okay, so let us go deep in the chapter now. Our hydrosphere. Yes, let's see our hydrosphere now. Hydrosphere, the earth is a unique, what's the meaning of unique? Special planet, largely due to the presence of stream of water on the hydrosphere. Why our earth is known as a unique planet? Why it is known as a special planet? Because of the water, presence of water. It is known as the blue planet. It is a popular sobriquet used for the earth. Yes, due to the absence of plenty of water. Yes, because of the plenty of water, that's why it is known as a blue planet. Beyond this, we have other more spheres also. Hydrosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, all of you makes the life possible on the earth. Okay, so hydrosphere comprises all forms of water bodies, including solid, liquid, gaseous form along with the groundwater. Okay, so let's see some more about what is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, yes, when we are talking about the hydrosphere, we are talking about the water cycle. Yes. What is water cycle? Water cycle consists of 4 stages, that is evaporation, condensation, precipitation. So let's see what are these processes. So I am going to explain you one by one what are these. These are the amount of water that comes in by the way of precipitation usually balances the amount of lost evaporation and transpiration. So we are going to learn about so there are 4 processes. Evaporation, the process by which water changes into liquid to vapor. Condensation, process by which water changes into water droplets. And precipitation, the falling of water from the sky in the form of water. So this is our water cycle table. Yes, so here this is called evaporation. The water just evaporates, it forms into gas. It reaches to the sky, that is known as condensation. Again the water falls in the form of rainfall, that is known as precipitation. So all this, because of this only the water can be possible. Availability of water varies from place to place. Water cycle is affected by human activities also. Yes, such as deforestation by cutting of trees. Or these water bodies are also getting polluted by the human activities itself. Okay, so let us learn about now fresh and saline water. What is fresh water? The water that we are using for drinking, that is potable water. And what is saline water? That is known as salty water. A huge amount of evaporated water found in the atmosphere comes from the oceans. Yeah, water comes from the oceans. Around 97% of the water from the oceans and seas is saline. Yeah, when you will just taste the water of the oceans. Yeah, how it is? It is salty, it is of no use. And it is unsuitable for human use, consumption. It is no use for the humans. It is saline because the rivers, while flowing over the land surface, dissolve and carry various salts with it, which is deposited. The meaning of deposited is collected. Now I am turning the page, that is page number 54. Okay, so why it is salty? It is salty because of the different salt that mix with the rivers, merge into the oceans. The remaining 2% is found in the glaciers, yes, and ice caps, while 1% is found in groundwater, rivers, lakes, atmosphere within life forms. Effectively, therefore, only 1% of the water is suitable for human use. Imagine 1%, and that also 1% is completely polluted by the human activities. So students, one day will come in our life like this कि we have to suffer without water. So save water. Okay, so let's see what is fresh water here. Yes, what is fresh water? That is potable water. Water containing very little dissolved salts. Yeah, very little dissolved salts, very little, which contains very little salts, is known as fresh water. Okay, rivers that carry fresh water from rains or melting of snow are among the most important and highest source of fresh water. So most of our fresh water comes from where? Either it comes from the rain or from the melting of snow. Okay, so for distribution of fresh water depends on the prevailing climate conditions and highly uneven. So all this where the precipitation exceeds evaporation, where there is surplus water, while in the Thar desert where evaporation is more, then is a shortage of water also. Ice caps and glaciers are huge reservoirs of fresh water in a solid state. So whenever you are just seeing the water in the solid state, that is ice caps and glaciers, these are the huge reservoirs of water in a solid state. Okay, so let's see now what are, I'm moving forward. Yes, let us see what are lakes. Lakes are the inland water bodies that are normally landlocked. Yes, that is landlocked means completely surrounded by land. So these are the water bodies that are completely surrounded by the land. These may vary in size. They can differ in size from small ponds to big inland seas like Caspian Sea, Lake Superior, Great Bear Lake are large lakes which are also used for transportation. Okay, so these are known as lakes. Okay, now I am directly coming on to the saline water. Up to now we have studied about the fresh water, from where it comes. Okay, now I am telling about what is saline. Saline means salty water. Water which contains a large amount of dissolved salts. Yeah, which contains little dissolved salts, that is known as fresh water, or saline water which contains a large numbers of dissolved salts such as chlorine, sodium, sulfur, calcium, potassium, magnesium. Yes, all these where they are mixed, that water is said to be the saline water. So the maximum concentration is of sodium chloride or common salt. So let's see what is the salinity. The degree of concentration of salt in sea water is known as its salinity, or it varies from place to place, or it is expressed in terms of per thousand. Okay, so average salinity of sea water is 35 parts per thousand or 3.5%, which means 1000 grams of sea water contains 35 grams of salt. So this is okay. So let's see temperature here. The temperature of the ocean water, which is heated by the sun, which is just get evaporating by the sun rays of the earth, varies place to place. Winds, tides, wave mix with the surface layer. Now turn the page everyone. Of the oceans with its deepest layer. So the temperature of the surface varies from latitudes. Therefore the tropical latitudes which receive vertical rays of the sun, during the equatorial regions you can see the vertical sun rays. That's why here temperature is very warm. The oceanic temperature decreases steady from the equator to the poles. As we know this, the temperature always decreases as we just move on from the equator to the poles. It just decreases. Yes. The normal decrease in temperature from the equator to the poles is upset by the ocean currents. It is very low. The temperature of ocean water also decreases with depth. The sun rays warm the surface water more than the deeper water. Okay. So now in the next chapter, now we are going to learn about some major water bodies. Before going to it, let us learn what is ocean. What is the ocean? Ocean is a large water bodies of saline water. Yes, ocean is a large water body of saline water. Yes, so it covers 70% of the land surface of earth with an average depth of about 3.8 kilometers. Okay, so one by one we have how many major oceans are there in the world? That is Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. These are the 5 oceans we have. So let us study one by one every ocean in a very deep manner. First come on to the Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is the deepest ocean. In a summarized manner I am telling to you The Pacific Ocean is said to be the deepest ocean, or it is in triangular in shape. Which shape? Triangular in shape. So here I'm going here. It is the largest and deepest ocean of all the 5 oceans, covering an area, and it covers an area of 30.5% of the total land surface area of the earth. Yes. Or from where it extends? It extends from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Southern Ocean in the south. Okay, and it is bounded. What are its boundaries? It is bounded by the Asia and Australia in the west, North America and South America in the east. Yeah, these are the boundaries. It is in triangular in shape, I have already told you. Yeah, it contains many islands which are volcanic in origin. So this was a little bit information about the Pacific Ocean. Now come on to Atlantic Ocean. It is the second largest and the busiest ocean. This ocean is very busy, or it is less than the half of the Pacific Ocean. It covers 20.8% of the Earth's total surface. Yeah, it's covering 20.8. Or it is in the shape of S. Alphabet S shape. Okay, so it contains many shallow seas like Caribbean Sea, Baltic Sea, North Sea, Black Sea, Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so the mid-Atlantic ridge is a spectacular underwater mountain range on the ocean water running roughly down to the center of the ocean floor. The total length of is about 16,000 kilometers from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Barbados Islands in the south. So these are the boundaries of the Atlantic Ocean. So now I am going to tell you the third ocean, that is our Indian Ocean. Page number, just turn on to the page number 56. 56, Indian Ocean. So this is the only ocean which is named after our country, India, Indian. So let me tell you about the 2 lines. That is, it is triangular in shape, or it is named after the country. It is located mostly in the southern hemisphere. Yeah, it is located mostly in the southern hemisphere. Or it is the only ocean which is named after your country. It covers about 14.4% of the total land area on the earth. Or it is closed by the 3 sides of the Australia, while the other southern ocean meets on the southern side. It is in triangular in shape. Yeah, or it is important because of the high oil reserves. Yeah, the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea are the 2 northward extensions of those oceans. So it is very easy, Indian Ocean. It is triangular in shape. It is named after our country. It covers 14.4% of the total area, or it is enclosed by the 3 sides of the north of the Asia, Africa and Australia. Okay, yes, now comes to the Antarctica, that is also called Southern Ocean. Antarctica, we can call this ocean as the Southern Ocean also. Let's see the boundaries. It surrounds Antarctica and occupies about 4% of the surface area of the earth. Yes, large ice sheets covers this ocean. No settlements, no people used to live here. Yes, large ice sheets cover this area for most of the year. Yes, several seas like adjacent to this ocean, for instance, the Scotia Sea, Amundsen Sea, Ross Sea just surrounds it. Okay, so the most important feature of this ocean is that there are no settlements because a large area is covered by the ice sheets here. Now comes the Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean, this ocean is said to be the smallest ocean. It is the smallest ocean of all the oceans. Yeah, or it covers only 2.8% of the total surface area. Only 2.8. Or it is closed by the landmass of North America, Asia, Greenland, Europe. Okay, or let's see the location. It is located north of the Arctic Circle. Many islands are surrounding it. For example, White Sea, Baffin Bay, the Kara Sea surrounds this ocean. So these all seas like White Sea, Baffin Bay, Kara Sea, all this surrounds this ocean. Which ocean? Arctic Ocean. Okay, it's clear? Yes. So let's see the movement of ocean water. Ocean water. Yes, ocean water is dynamic. What's the meaning of dynamic? It is energetic. Have you ever seen the ocean water in a silent mode? No. Ocean water is in an energetic form. It always rose. It moves constantly. It never stays constant. Either it moves in a vertical manner or either it moves in a horizontal manner. So let's see here. Waves, tides, currents are all the major movements in the oceans. Yeah, the movements in the ocean only changes because of waves, tides, currents. Okay, so let's see what are waves now. Waves, regular rise and fall of water. Yes, regular rise and fall. Rise, the waves are rising up. Fall, the falling of water. Yeah, this is known as waves. Let's see a small definition of a wave. Is a rectangular rise and fall of ocean water due to the action of the wind on the surface of water. So the rising and falling of water depends upon the wind. The wind it blows. The shape and size of the waves, yes, depend on the speed. Yeah, speed of the wind and other weather conditions also. So let us, I am now telling you about some most important features of the waves now. See, the upper part of the wave is known as crest. Yes, upper part like this is a wave. It raises up, and it falls down. Okay, these is the falling and just the rising up and falling down. This is known as what? It is known as crest. What it is known as? It is known as crest. Okay, and the lower part is known as trough. This is known as the lower part, and this lower part is known as trough. Okay, so upper part is known as, the wave is known as crest, and this is known as the trough. The distance between a crest and the trough is called wave height. Yes, if we talk about the another wave here side by, another one. Okay, so this one, when we are talking about these two heights, the distance between the crest and a trough is called as wave height. The distance between these two from here to here, the distance we just measure it from here to here, the distance between a crest and the trough is known as wave height. It is known as wave height. Or when we are talking about the horizontal distance between two successive crests, or when we are talking about like this, the horizontal crest and crest. Okay, this one is known as what? This one is known as vertical. We are asking the distance between the crest and the trough. That is known as the wave height. Or when we are talking about these two distances, is called as wavelength. Okay, understood here? So this is the paragraph. Okay, so the vertical distance between a crest and the trough is called as wavelength height, or the horizontal distance between two successive crests. This is a crest and this is a crest, and this between the distance is known as wavelength. Have you got? Okay. So now come on to the next question, that is known as the size of a wave depends upon the speed. Already I have told you how the waves rise in the sea. How the wave used to rise, it depends upon the speed of the wind. That is, stormy winds can give rise to a huge waves which led to the destructions of life and property. That is known as tsunami. Yes, earthquakes and volcanoes are capable of displaying huge amount of ocean water. Yes, which give rise to huge tidal waves called tsunami, and which can cause a lot of damage also. Okay, so one incident is given to you here. Let us this incident, let's see. The tsunami caused massive destruction along the Pacific coast of Japan. Yes, one time tsunami was struck the Pacific coast of Japan. In that, 14,755 people were dead, 5,279 people were injured, and 10,706 people were completely missing across the country. Or in addition to the loss of life was, flooding was, landslides was, and there was a lot of destruction for the infrastructure. Yes, tsunami caused a number of nuclear accidents also, with the one near the Fukushima nuclear power plant being the most serious case. Okay, explosions and gas leaks occurred at 3 nuclear reactors. Explosions, what are known as explosion? Blast. And gas leak, when the gas is just leaking, occurred at 3 nuclear reactors. That is the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. I am turning the page. Station releasing radioactive material directly in the atmosphere, and the atmosphere. Yes. So, economic loss exceeded $300 billion, making it one of the most expensive natural disasters in history. So, it was a really very very terrible explosion, natural disasters, which is recorded in the pages of history. Okay, now I am just stopping it. This was the part 1. Now in part 2 I will clear the remaining chapter. Thank you for listening me.